Hey.
That boy is Benny Honey.
Wahinekoa to the front line. Ready to chant down the serpent to the sunrise. Wahinekoa to the front line. Backbone for the home, stacking stones till the end of time. Wahinekoa stay on the front line. Malamana keiki na ai and na pupuvai, making sure the kane don't stray. We see the signs. Unified Allah hui, who birthed the lines. Always felt the truth, never always had the proof. Just knew, gotta listen to Tutu. One day, the truth will rise. I can't wait to see the look in her eyes. Cause she told me from the beginning, she said, baby, it's the kingdom. Always remember where the heck it is you came from. Working out the hale, Ohana is the reason. Home steady hustling, Wahinekoa season. 1843, got our nationality. Our kupuna knew exactly what would come to be. Mo'iali'i set it all in stone until Kapo'e Haole illegally overthrown. Just know they were smart. That was just the start. 180-year-old plan set to take this thing again. We hold it down, pa'a for the crown. The next generation's 180 turn around. Wahinekoa to the front line. Ready to chant down the serpent to the sunrise. Wahinekoa to the front line. Backbone for the home, stacking stones till the end of time. Mana wahine ain't got shit on Wahinekoa. We work the aina, feed a kua, going in for more. Sure, you may think that you don't have to paddle, but don't think I'ma stand by you when we go into battle. We don't compromise, for our people we will die. Never tell a lie, military occupied. We done been through too much shit. The system burning down, now you know who got the matches. Wahinekoa to the front line. Ready to chant down the serpent to the sunrise. Wahinekoa to the front line. Backbone for the home, stacking stones to the end of time. Zero waste crates in my boots and I go straight to the aina, sweating that stream will flow. Making time for kupuna just to let them know we're here to stay forever, planted so we can grow. We heal, we teach, we reach, we preach for the hand on the land, steady sowing that native seed. To all my goddesses, this is for my queens. You know who you are, you don't beg to be seen. You got that native blood running through your veins. They ask who you are, you don't tell them what's your name. Moku ao how, so strong you could get slain. This is the resurgence, Wahinekoa strain. Woo. Love you guys. Shout out. Aina made music.
Yeah. Do your genealogy, your moku ao how, right? You gotta go back all the way to Mahele days, Kuei petition days, find out who is on there, and then you can stewardship, right? Not ownership. So we're moving into this time of stewardship. No more ownership. It's all kauko thing. We all take together, right? I cannot do what the women do. The women cannot do what I do. The keiki, they gotta be keiki. The kapuna, they did it already. They held it down. Okay, now it's on us, the legwork. And so before I was like, who's throwing the parties? Oh yeah, me. I'm the uncle already. Like, so that's the huli too. You huli to reveal yourself. Oh, this is where I'm at, and gracefully try. You don't gotta be 100%, perfect. Main thing you try, better each time. Yes, Alhanas.
So I'm Rebecca Melendez, and yeah, I moved over here in the mid-90s. And the minute I got here, it was circumstantial. I did not choose to come here. It was just the circumstances that brought me here. And I landed, and my heart was like, I'm home. And I didn't know why. And then for some reason, Keauhou, I have worked in Keauhou over 20 years. I have worked as a deckhand on different boats there. I've worked as a manta ray guide. I've worked as a kayak guide. I've worked as a snuba guide for over almost 20 years in this bay, and I saw the mana. I felt the peace, and the minute I was in this bay, I knew this is where I wanted to be for the rest of my life. I want to die in this bay, and the reason is because, growing up, there was just not a lot of peace. The family, the ohana in Keauhou is not like anything else I have experienced in the world. I have traveled the world on motor yachts, and I've seen different cultures, and there is nothing else in the world like Keauhou Bay that I have found. So the minute when I found out that they wanted to build a bungalow resort, this is 43 buildings, 150 rooms, and they're calling it low impact lodging. Okay, and they're also, Kamehameha Schools is also stating, if you go and talk with them, and I try and inspire people to talk with them and get learn their project. I have their project on bigislandsupport.com. Okay, I created bigislandsupport.com because I started seeing notices of application signs all over the island, and I started going, what is this? How can I stop this? And what is this? They do not teach us in school how to stand. They do not teach us in school how to go to, that we can go to meetings and we can oppose things. And so I started going, well, I don't know how to do this. Other people probably don't know how to do this. I'm creating a website and I'm going to share this information. BigIslandSupport.com was born. Yes. Okay, so I created that. There's a meeting, upcoming meetings page to try and explain how to go to meetings. Now I have Big Island Support helps at Keauhou Bay, page. I also have Big Island Support General Plan page that talks about the general plan. But I'm going to just talk about Keauhou because I know time is limited. So on this page, I actually give you a letter that you can send, and you can please talk to Kamehameha Schools. There is, my petition has right now 7,122 signatures opposing their low impact lodging, okay? They really start to state first, oh, we need money, okay? We need money to put in our educational system, okay? So here's the thing. I have Kanaka who has met with them, okay? Had a meeting with them. The second meeting they had, they changed their wording and started saying, oh, well, we're actually going to use this low impact lodging to house the kids. Okay, so this is their route. They state, as Kamehameha Schools was created by Princess Bernice Pauahi Bishop in the 1800s to educate the Hawaiian people, okay? They state that what they're doing is for the kids so that they can have permission to do this from the people, okay? This is not true, you guys. And the thing is we need more people to stand and start to question them, okay? They have not followed the will that created them since the 1800s, okay? In the will, it states that they are to use half of their profits for the education of the Kanaka, okay? I don't see any. Their schools, over 140 something years now, they have under 7,000 kids in schools. That's how many schools they have. So anyways, again, this isn't their land. I told them this is not their land, and so she said, yes it is, and I said, no, you actually are the stewards of to educate the Hawaiian people. And by the way, how much have you educated the Hawaiian people in over 100 and whatever years? It's stated in the will also that they are to support indigent and orphaned kids. Supporting means, taking care of, housing, feeding, and taking them to school. They do not do this, okay? It is time to stand, okay? I am not Kanaka, but when I got here, I have been through a lot of trauma in my life, and when I got here, the peace and the mana and the love and the aloha I felt changed my world. And it made me want to stay, and it made me want to fight for this land. And I'm here to stand, and I'm here to fight for this land, for the Kanaka. I'm also wanting to, we're a declaration that this is not Kamehameha Schools land. We are also going to bring, directions and instructions on how the Kanaka can start doing their genealogy. They need to start doing their genealogy and start knowing how to see if their ancestors hold original titles. We are starting to get the land back for the Kanaka, and it's up to them though. They have to want to stand, they have to want to do this work. It's not going to be easy, and we're going to try and make it as knowledgeable as possible, because I go on ChatGPT, I ask it questions. How do you do a genealogy in Hawaii? How do you start to look at the ancestral land? It is now, guys. It is now. It is not the past. The past people were, oh, we cannot do nothing. It's like you cannot do nothing because you're not doing anything. If you do not stand, there will be no change. You have to stand. And I am not the blood here, but my heart is here, and that is why I stand. And I will stand with anybody, and I will help support you, and I will help bring the awareness that this is the truth, that you need to take your land back because it's right. It was back in the 1800s. Your kings and queens were smart. They made a law that actually protected your land for the future. for your future. And if you do not stand, you're not going to get it back. It's time to stand.
And the folks running this development project, and just get to hear their story, their side, see their map, see what their vision is. And at the end of it all, the bottom line was, drum roll. Well, yeah, aole, but the bottom line for them was, we need more money.
Yeah, that's the reason.
Huh?
Yeah.
All right, with that, lehua.
Yeah, the question was that they needed more money, but I said, why? It's because we can't steward the land. And I was like, you got choke kanaka that can steward the land, so that's not the reason. You do a hui and you get us all there working on the land. But yes, I'm a descendant from Keauhou. My tutu lady is Mary Ha'anyong. My aunt is Lily Kong. She had a lot to do with Keauhou and the Kona Historic Society with documenting all of our EVs, all of our historic places. That's why it's so important to know these maps, because we need to know where these places are that we need to protect and preserve. And secondly, we need to know so that we can stand when it's time to stand. So my whole thing when I was there at the table was that the build is just too huge. There's like 146 bungalow units, 146 parking stalls by the bungalow units, another 146 parking stalls by my tutu lady's house. I'm like, that's 300, more than 400 parking stalls, times it by families, so that's 2 to 4 people in a car in that small, not even a bay, it's an inlet, it's not a bay. It's just crazy. And then when we were there the other month, last month, I noticed with the manta and all of that influx of volume, there's like 6 boats out there just with the animals, just constantly not letting anybody rest. So my whole thing is about resources and protecting the resources on our Aina and also our Vai. My kids are really engaged with Aina projects throughout the islands, with different organizations throughout the islands. We work in the lo'is to the ocean. My only concern is the impact. The water is not the same that we swam in 20 years ago. When I was a baby, I could see through the water. There was fish in the ocean. I could hook you up some fish. First drop. You go down there now, it's too much noise. There's too much people. You go try to fish on anything, you're not gonna catch nothing. Just so much runoff. So I told them, I was like, it doesn't make any sense. If you had this rezoned as a resort and you have to make a resort, why don't you rezone it back? Because if it was that easy to rezone it, then why don't we just wait for the new mayor and rezone it back? And I said the best thing would be to build a filter of all the runoff coming down from the Mauka. And the best way to do that is to put plants. We have so much native plants, we could buffer that place to filter it out so that the runoff no run down into the ocean. We have learned these systems. We have to learn from our ancestors. They've done it already. I don't know why we're trying to redo this wheel and just make it all about kala. But yeah, that's my whole thing, is that it's always about protecting the resources, because no guarantee those barges gonna come in. Period. We felt the impact during the pandemic. All of it got shut down. We had no toilet paper, for goodness sakes. So when it came down to that, that's when I decided to get back to Aina and make sure that our hands are in the Aina so that we can stake claim to it. If there's no one working the land, then they'll just rezone it. So I just say, thank you for everyone coming today and being a part of this. I love you all for being here, and let's just stand. Ew.
Downloading on the energies. We live in Hawaii. Greatest time to be alive. Right now, you're in Hawaii for a very specific reason. Remember Maka said kulana, right? Each one of you guys have a different ingredients, right, to this beautiful mixing pot in Hawaii at this very specific time. But you gotta know your authenticity. You gotta know your traumas. You gotta clean that stuff up, right? The soul, right, and all that stuff. And yeah, elevate yourself, eat the good food, friends, family, and smiles, choke laughs. Yeah.